What is good, everyone, and welcome back to yet another video. I hope you're all well. It's been a while since I've done a sort of sit down discussion, unboxing, tutorial vid, should I say. Today we're talking drones. We're talking the new DJI Mavic Mini 2, which has been out for about 4 days now, and I finally managed to get my hands on the Mavic Mini 2. I've been using it for the past week or so, out and about. As a majority of you know, and I've said this time and time again, I am all about compatibility, really easy, small things. I have a lot of small lenses, I have a small camera. I love small things, okay? No pun intended, but I like small gadgets, and this fits under the category of extremely small gadget. I've been taking it out with me for the past week. I've been using it out and about in the city, taking it about, using it like you would a sort of run and gun drone. And let me tell you, I am very impressed. As a creator like myself, I have always been used to using the Mavic Pro, Mavic Pro 2, I've used the Mavic Air a few times, and I've used an Inspire. I am very nervous when it comes to flying drones. I can always think about, once it's in the air, I just want to get it back. Like, I'm quite a paranoid person when it comes to flying drones. If you're a beginner and you're looking to invest in a drone, but you don't have, you know, £1,000 to invest in the Mavic Pro or the Mavic Air, which is around £700 for the non-pro combos I'm talking about. This comes in at £400, this one. The Pro combo comes in at 530, correct me if I'm wrong. If you are wanting to pursue filmmaking and drone flying for your career and you think that it will benefit you, this is a great little thing, I'd say, to start and practice with. Then if you feel the need to upgrade and want to get a much bigger drone or want to get something else, then you can obviously go towards that. But I'm just speaking purely for someone who is on a tight budget and is kind of skeptical about, you know, should I buy a drone? Do I want one in my kit? This will probably do the job for what you want it to do. Again, I'm not going to make a huge thing of this. For anyone that is a frequent drone flyer, you'll know what is inside. So we're greeted off with the drone itself right here. Now, I would probably recommend, if you are going to take this out and about and treat it like a run and gun drone, maybe get a little pouch for it, because for the Pro combo, I think it does come with a pouch, but for the normal combo, I think, it doesn't have a pouch. So I would probably recommend getting a little pouch for this. You probably pick one up on Amazon for about a tenner. And then inside we have instruction manual, you know, basic stuff. Don't fly your drone into people, that's probably what it says. We have these two little cables, which are charging cables, charging port for the controller, and then you have two spare propellers, which is really cool. Joysticks, two spare joysticks for the controller, again, and a little screwdriver, which is fancy. Let's take this out. I will be taking this out with me every day, given it is under 250 grams, which was the big dub for me. That means you do not need any legal paperwork or drone license to fly this, because it's so small. So I was able to fly this in amongst the city in London, where usually, because I have a Mavic Pro, I'm not allowed to fly it in those areas. But with this, because it is so small, you do not need any legal paperwork or any aggravation, I would say, to fly this, which won me over completely, because I can literally fly this whenever the hell I want, and I haven't got anyone in my ear going, oh, you haven't got a drone license. No, I don't need a drone license. That's one thing that won me over. Just wanted to add that in there. Proceeding on with the controller. The controller is bigger than the drone, if you can see that. This controller feels so much better than my Mavic Pro 1. I was thinking of upgrading to the Mavic Air 2 as a little run and gun drone, which have these controllers, but I have the old controller, and let me tell you, the new controllers feel so good. It also has these two little compartments at the bottom where you can store the joysticks. So you just stick them in there and I dropped it. You screw the joysticks onto here and you can you're off basically, you're good to go. Then when you want to put them away, you unscrew them and you put them back in the little compartments at the bottom of the drone, which is so cool. Another thing about this, which I think is awesome, is this top bit. So you press that and out comes a little holster for your phone, because before it has, actually, I'm talking about this, why don't I just get it and show you. This still has a screen protector on it, it's not cracked, before any of you start freaking out and saying your drone controller's cracked. It's actually still got the protective film on it. This is the old drone thing. You have to put your phone down here. For this one, you put it up here, and you can actually stretch it out. So if anyone that has massive phones and big phones, it stretches to the size of your phone, so you're not restricted in that department. But yeah, this is the controller, bigger than the drone. So now let's take a little look at the drone itself. Like I said, the small form factor is just a big dub, huge dub in the eyes of someone like me, I guess. One thing that you do get with the Fly More combo, you get like a battery pack. I think you get 3 batteries with that. This one, the battery pack doesn't exist. You get 1 battery, which lives under here. If I can pull this little tab off. The battery lives under here, and you simply just push this little thing down, out comes said battery. Again, really cool, really smart. So here is a little side view. We've got the top, other side, and we've got the gimbal side, and then the battery side with the Lightning USB port for charging and the micro SD. All right, so now we're going to go into the features of the drone, what it's like to fly it, how it compares to any of the other drones that I've flown in the past. Do you even need this drone? Again, I took it out with me all last week. I took it out to a bunch of different locations, flew it in a bunch of different environments to see how it kind of withstanded in those real world situations. Okay, so I'm currently at this location in central London. This is probably one of the most popular locations if you're a photographer or a videographer, because you've got this amazing like city skyline in the background. So I thought I'd come here with the drone because it's currently 3 p.m. It gets very dark in London really quickly. It gets dark around 4 o'clock. So I thought I'd come here for sunset so I could test out the Mavic Mini 2. I'm gonna go through a few features when I'm flying and just kind of show you guys how long it takes to set up, what are my favorite features of this drone. I'm gonna go to a few different locations today and tomorrow, test out what it's like. At the moment, the winds they're not too bad. They're not as like harsh as I thought they were gonna be. It's not too cold either, so I'm pretty sure this drone will perform. But I'm gonna wait for sunset. We're gonna test out the dynamic range, test out the 4K, just kind of test out the drone, see how quickly it is to set up, because again, that is one of the key parts for me and for maybe some of you guys as content creators. How quick can you get out this drone and send it up in the air? Yeah, we're gonna wait for sunset, but hopefully we don't get any crashes, because as well, when you are flying drones, especially in like locations like this where there are some buildings over there, there's the O2 arena, there's a building there, you need to be quite aware of your surroundings if you're going for like orbital shots and stuff like that. And my drone flying, I will say, isn't too bad. I think I've improved. This is the location that we are going to be working with. This is one of my favorite locations because there's not many places in London where you can see this amazing like city view at like ground level, if that makes sense. So that's why I thought I'd come here to test out the drone. Right, I'm gonna do the timer test now to see how long it takes me to set up this drone from completely packed down in my bag to ready to fly. So we're gonna commence in 3, 2, 1. And that is it. Pretty much done. I would advise anyone that has a phone case on their phone, maybe I should have taken the phone case off, but apart from that, that is how long it took. I think that was around 33, 32 seconds, which is just ridiculous, especially if you're like a content creator that loves to film on the go and doesn't have a lot of time and just run and gun. That is what this drone is. I said this before, but this is the run and gun drone of the year, I swear to God. In terms of the features of this drone and like the interface and things like that, I found it a lot easier to fly and sort of notice where things are on the screen than I did when I first bought my Mavic Pro 1. So being like a first time drone flyer, I think this one won't confuse you as much, because when I first bought my one, I was really confused. I was like, okay, what the hell does all this mean? And now when flying something like this, I don't have all of those sort of icons that kind of confuse you and kind of intimidate you when you're a first time drone flyer. But I will put all of my settings that I use when I fly this drone all on the screen and in the description below, so you guys can just go over and copy it over to your drone. If you have a Mavic Mini 2 or a Mini 1, you can just copy that over. Again, I'm not saying these are the best settings, but these are the settings that I use to get like the maximum amount of capability out of the drone when I'm flying it, when I'm doing like vlogging, stuff like that. One thing that is really impressing me right now is the dynamic range of this drone. I mean, I'm getting a lot of detail in the shadows, in the buildings and stuff, which I'm quite surprised at. For such a small drone to have like a dynamic range like this is really cool. And I'm shooting all of this stuff in 4K 24 frames per second. Again, for such a small device to have these features, honestly, it's mind-blowing. I feel like next year we're going to end up having drones this big which shoot in 8K. Imagine that, that would be crazy. Error GPS signal. Well, that doesn't sound very good. Right, return to home. Get your arse back here now. So right now, as you may have probably already discovered, I'm in the middle of Canary Wharf. This is another location that I really wanted to try out and use the features of the Mavic Mini. Today the winds were actually quite strong. I flew it over the river and in between the buildings. It actually coped really well, apart from I had quite a weak GPS signal. I'll put some footage on the screen so you guys can see. And I also had some gimbal issues. It was like kind of, it wouldn't go the full way up. It wouldn't like tilt up with the axis. It would only kind of stay like level and go down. It wouldn't tilt up, which I felt was really weird. I'm not sure why. I think it might be because of the GPS or the winds, but I'm not too sure. But in terms of actually kind of withstanding the winds, I think it done a really good job. And the shots came out really nice. I'm going to try and fly up in a minute just to get some shots when it's a little bit darker so I can test out the low light. But as of it coping in the winds, it isn't too bad at all. To be honest, I've always wanted to fly a drone in this location and I've never been able to fly my Mavic Pro unless I got a license. I actually don't have a license because it's all a bit of a hoopla and it's just effort at the end of the day. But all in all, I'm very happy with the shots. So we're going to wait, I'm going to charge up the drone. That is another thing which I will say, if you are going to buy this, I would highly recommend getting some batteries because I've been out flying this drone for the past week now and the battery dies so quickly. Like when I'm at a location like this, I get so excited. I'm like, oh my God, I need to get this shot, I need to get this shot. And I'm just gassed to get loads of shots. I actually forget, oh wait, I've only got like 22 minutes, half an hour to fly this drone. I would highly recommend getting batteries, more batteries indeed. Currently flying in low light. I've got about 20% battery left, so I've got to be quick. I feel like this footage may look quite grainy. Again, I'm shooting at ISO 2000 and shutter speed 1/80. But again, on the phone, it doesn't really do it justice. It's not until you put it in the laptop you can actually take a good look at it. But I'm just going to quickly get this shot because I'm very low on battery. Okay, so we're just watching the low light footage back. What do you think?
Insane for the size of that drone. Incredible.
I'm actually really surprised. I thought it was going to be hella grainy, so I'm not the best drone pilot. Bearing in mind, I was fighting about, I think I had like 10% battery, I think, and I was like rushing to get this shot. I thought it was going to be hella grainy, but it's not.
Looks pretty good.
With a grade on it as well, it's going to look very nice.
Smashed it.
Okay, so I hope that footage was good enough and gave you guys a bit of an insight and was informative. Do you actually need to buy this drone? I mean, that is completely up to you. If you have something like the Mavic Air or the Mavic Pro, the more higher end drones, probably not. But if you're a beginner and you're starting out and you want to get into drone flying, I would highly recommend this because it's super easy to use, it's super light, it's not too expensive, and it's just a really great drone to practice on. I thought I did really well there. I'm really hot as well. I've got like loads of lights in here. I'm wearing a thick jumper. Definitely not one of my best ideas. I hope you guys did enjoy this video. If you did, don't forget to leave a like, rating, and subscribe if you are new. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. Take care. Peace.